Okay, so Flynn. Now, the story of Flynn is he lived over the road from where I lived and was often out on the street. An old boy, you can see him on the screen there now. And I first started this whole thing I call the Catnip Project about a year and a half ago when I moved back to Penzance. And basically the idea was just to simply ask myself, how can I reach out to cats? Domestic cats. That was it. I realised, hey, they really love catnip. And then I thought, most people don't actually utilise catnip that much with their cats. So I thought, okay, well, so I started to develop a catnip finger glove and all these things now. And that's later developed into simply just having a spray which you can put on your glove or on your sleeve or shoe. But it was more than that. And then it developed into interspecies communication. Someone recommended an Anna Brayton-Barg video, and that led me into Penelope Smith, and then realising that interspecies communication is a real thing, and so it's developing very nicely. So it's been about a year and a half. But Flynn was the first one who I would see when I'd head out most mornings, and then when I came back. So I'd see Flynn more than the other cats, and was chatting with his pet humans. Now Flynn vanished after about maybe 8 months of me seeing him. He vanished, and his pet human said to me, well, we guess he just went off into a bush to die. You know, he was obviously close to the end. So I thought, yeah, that sounds about right. They do that, don't they? The conscious ones just quietly go off and die, and it's nice that you think, yeah, he knew. Anyway, I was like, yeah, well, that was a good life. He didn't, they didn't know, they took him in. I can't remember the story, but they didn't know when he was born or how old he was or anything. I think he said a lady died, and so they took him in, his owner died. Anyway, I woke up at 5:30 this morning and thought, I don't want to get up right now, so I went back to sleep and had a dream, and there was Flynn. And Flynn was trotting towards me, and it was very, very real. And I crouched down and said, hello, Flynn. Now, Flynn had the same meow, 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 like that, like how we would always meow. Very strong lungs on Flynn. And his hair was slightly shorter than it is now. And so in the dream, I was very conscious of the fact that, oh, you're supposed to have died. And it was like, in the dream, it wasn't that I was thinking to myself, oh, so you didn't die. It was more a question of realising in the dream that I was in another reality, no less real, but that I was somehow accessing a Flynn who was around. Like I say, slightly shorter hair, but it was definitely Flynn. And it's just got me thinking about how when we move, we seem to be moving into a different sort of reality now, as the evildoers are being shot, thank God, and we seem to be moving through a portal, and a lot of D-class is coming up, and people are learning the truth about who we really are. It's making me wonder, like, this thing about death, you know, it's not real. All the great teachers have always said it's not real. You know, this whole thing about dying, it's an illusion, the shadow of the valley of death. And it just got me wondering about beings that we've loved in the past, and whether they be human or cat or whatever, divine souls. You know, I'm wondering, like, how will it actually transpire if it's possible for us to reconnect with them? And we're going to be living perhaps what they say is a fifth dimensional reality, whatever that really means, but still physical, but a much higher frequency. And I'm just wondering, how will it pan out if we do have access to anyone we want to in the great grid? You know, immediately, like what I've learned through telepathy, is that you can contact any being anywhere if you're attuned, if you're both attuned, and it doesn't take time. You're immediately there, and the connection is real. It's not imaginary, and the information being exchanged is real. So I'm not there yet, but I feel that I'm just starting to with my cat teachers. I'm just starting to access that wonderful grid. And so this whole thing about seeing Flynn and it being very real has made me wonder, how will it actually transpire for those of us that are going through this portal, let's say in sequential time a few years from now, say. Let's say we've got these wonderful med beds and we're all 30 years younger, or whatever, however it transpires. And I was wondering, well, perhaps I'm seeing a Shay Long in my mind. Perhaps we'll be reclining and all we need to do is just lie back, close our eyes, and immediately whoever we want to connect with, as long as there's a genuine heartfelt connection, then we can access them, whether they've physically died or not. Could it be like that? Or could it be actually somehow, let's say I have a camera or a quantum camera. Could there be video footage of me simply crouching down and Flynn just precipitating out of the ethers and actually being there for this quantum camera to catch? So it's all very interesting stuff. I just thought I'd make a little montage video of my beloved Flynn, an old soul. I think Jan said he's an old soul. A wonderful cat, and let's see what the future brings. Somebody wants to have a go on the finger. Hello, Flynn. Hello, darling. How are you today, Poppet? 19 years old. Flynn is 19 years old, and he is the official spokesperson for the Catnip Foundation. Hello, darling. Hello, Flynn. Magic sticks, look. There we are, Poppet. Have you been asleep in the sun? Hello, bunny. Hello, it's me. Hello, baby boy. Morning. There. Hello, darling. There we are. Flynn, don't we? Flynn. And they all go crazy for the camera. Meow. Hello, darling. Flynn likes his camera soft. Will you, Flynn?